Hello and welcome to Charters Talk 4630. I'm your host, Stacey Mallory, and thanks to all of you who take a little time out of your schedule to tune in. And before we get started, if I can remind you to go on to YouTube, go to the search engine, type in these three words, Chargers Talk 4630. Press the like button, give a thumbs up, hit the notification button on the right. And as always, it doesn't cost you one copper penny to subscribe. This way, you'll never miss a show or podcast. And also, your device, whether it's a tablet, a phone, or a computer, it will send you a notification as a reminder that either we are live on the air or we've just released the latest content. And also, you don't just have to be a Chargers fan because everyone who listens and supports us is always welcome here. I want to make a reminder that I'm an independent licensed journalist and freelance writer. My views expressed on this podcast are mine and mine alone, which is based on research and do not reflect the opinions and beliefs of other websites, networks, or its affiliates. So now that we got that out the way, there are some things I want to discuss. First of all, we're 23 days away from the draft. And this is one, I would say, one of the most anticipating drafts that I can remember. I've been talking to a lot of Charger fans and a lot of other football fans about the upcoming draft, in particular the Chargers, whether we're going to stay put at 5 or we're going to trade back. Now, I know that I have been telling people, when they ask my opinion, is that you should just trust the process. You should trust Harbaugh. You should trust Ortiz. Harbaugh put together a fantastic staff of a bunch of guys that came from winning organizations and know what it takes to build a culture and to build a good team. And they come in with a plan. And I've been saying constantly, just trust the process. Now, I talked to some Charger fans that we talked a lot over the last couple of days, and they really have some concerns, as they should be. Just because I say trust the process and believe in Harbaugh and Ortiz, it doesn't mean that I'm going to agree with every decision they make. We don't have no control over whatever decision they make. But I just know I say that because I'm a Charger fan, diehard, 46 years. And whatever they do, whether I agree or not, I'm still riding with them. I'm not jumping ship. Harbaugh knows how to build a team. Ortiz learned as a GM under the best, under Eric DeCosta and Ozzie Newsome. So they know more about their field than I do. For the 5th pick in the draft, I know everybody is saying, it's Harrison or Neighbors or nothing for me. I get it. Aaron Rodgers always had his Adams. Josh Allen has always had his Stephon Diggs. Even recently, Mike Evans just signed back with Tampa Bay because he liked the connection that him and Mayfield had. And Justin Herbert, he needs his guy. There's no doubt about it, especially after losing Mike Williams and losing Keenan Allen. Justin Herbert deserves to have his guy. Now, I don't know how the draft is going to go early. A lot of trades are projected to happen on day one. There's a lot of rumors that the Cardinals may trade out of that pick with maybe Minnesota. There's rumors the Chargers may trade with Minnesota to get out of that and move back. I'm good with whatever Harbaugh and Ortiz decide to do because I know that whatever they do, they have a plan. They have a strategy. And it's not complete. Even after draft, it's not complete. The roster is not complete. June 1st, you're going to have a lot of cuts. Now, I don't know if Marvin Harrison is still going to be there with the 5th pick if the Chargers decide to stay there. There's a lot of talk that's going around about all these trades that's supposed to happen, that maybe Arizona might pull out of there. Maybe the Chargers may pull out of there. We don't know. I'm good with whatever way Harbaugh and Ortiz decide to go because I know it's going to be backed with a plan and a strategy to win. The staff they put together from top to bottom has all come from winning organizations. All these guys are proven that they know what it takes to win. They know how to build a team. They know how to build a culture. And I'm all for that because we've never had that before. But I'm going to say, I don't know if Marvin Harrison going to be there, but hey, if for some reason he's there when the Chargers pick 5 and they're going to stay there, it's going to be hard not to pick him. If Harrison is gone and the Chargers stay at the 5th pick, it's going to be hard to pass up on Malik Neighbors because Justin Herbert deserves to have his Stephon Diggs or his Adams or what Kelsey means to Pat Mahomes. Justin Herbert deserves that. And the reason why I'm going to say not only he deserved that, but the team itself deserved it, and us fans do too, is because I get Harbaugh's background. I get how he has built teams. Harbaugh believes in winning in the trenches, stopping the run, and being able to run the ball. He believes in that. That's a strategy that worked for Harbaugh everywhere he's been. So I have complete trust and confidence in him, but it'll be hard to pass up on Marvin Harrison if he's there or Malik Neighbors because Justin Herbert deserves that. Here's the reason why I say he deserves that. There's going to be moments in games where we've seen it constantly with every team every year and a lot with our team where game on the line is 3rd and 10, final drive. We only get 2 yards. It's 4th down. You ran out of time. You have to go for it. The game is on the line. It's 4th and 8. Do you trust Joshua Palmer in that situation? Do you trust Quentin Johnson in that situation? See, we've been able to lean on a Mike Williams or lean on a Keenan Allen or lean on a Vincent Jackson or lean on Antonio Gates. Now that they're not there no more. Currently, right now, you have Quentin Johnson and Joshua Palmer, who's going to be the number 1 and number 2 receivers as of right now. That could change depending on what we do in the draft and whatever other free agents you pick up. But in that situation where the pressure is on, the crowd is screaming, the stadium is rocking, you can't hear anything. Would you trust Marvin Harrison if he was there? Would you trust Malik Neighbors if he was there? I probably will. So we need that. I get the old school style that Harbaugh brings to the table, and it is a winning strategy. There's going to be times when you face some adversity within games, and you're going to struggle with running, and you're going to need Herbert to be Justin Herbert. And he need weapons to do that. And I'm not saying Joshua Palmer and Quentin Johnson can't be viable weapons for Justin Herbert and for this team. However, there's going to be times where Justin Herbert going to have to cook. And so he needs his guy. When you go and look at how Harbaugh has built teams over the years, Harbaugh's first coaching job was with the San Francisco 49ers as a head coach from 2011 to 2014. When Harbaugh got there, the 49ers was a very bad team. In fact, from 2003 to 2010, they had losing seasons. They were 6-10 in 2010 before Harbaugh took over in 2011. That year, they went 13-3 and won a playoff game with that same team. And some believe they could have went a lot further if Kyle Williams wouldn't have had 2 blunders on punt, one on punt return and one on kickoff that cost them that game against the Giants. But let's look at this. Who was the running back for the San Francisco 49ers? Frank Gore. Harbaugh put together a dominant offensive line. Frank Gore was one of the most punishing running backs we've seen in a while. Let's look at the receiving corps that the 49ers had in 2011. Michael Crabtree, Braylon Edwards, Josh Morgan, Ted Ginn, and Kyle Williams. Average receivers at best, nothing too crazy, but average receivers at best. Alex Smith had a passer rating of 90.7 with 3,144 yards, 17 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions, and played the entire season in 2011. That same season, Phillip Rivers threw for 4,624 yards and 27 touchdowns. The Chargers went 8-8 in that season in 2011 and didn't make the playoffs. Phillip Rivers threw 1,480 yards more than Alex Smith. But the difference was the 49ers went 13-3 and made the playoffs. It was winning playoff games. And we were 8-8 with a better quarterback, with better statistics, and didn't make the playoffs. Let's look at the tight ends that Harbaugh assembled. Vernon Davis, Delaney Walker, Justin Peel, and Brian Jennings. Vernon Davis was good. He was good. Wasn't great, a great tight end, but it was really good. The rest of the guys, probably not even average. But Harbaugh was able to win with those guys. He built a dominant offensive line. He had a dominant running back in Frank Gore. They had a solid defense. And Alex Smith was asked to just make maybe 5 to 7 plays that he had to make a game. So from 2011 to 2014, the 49ers was knocking on the door of winning a Super Bowl. They got to one. They went to the NFC title game 3 times. And then Trent Baalke and Harbaugh started having a lot of disagreements with regards to the direction that Harbaugh was taking the team in. Harbaugh believed that that style can win Super Bowls. Baalke wanted to add more playmakers from the wide receiver spot. He wanted to open up the offense a little bit more. He wanted to get over the hump. And Harbaugh wanted to stick to his strategy and what he believed in. He wanted to stay with his own philosophy. Trent Baalke didn't agree with it. So after the 2014 season, Trent Baalke decided to mutually part ways with Jim Harbaugh over power. Harbaugh did not want to bring in all of these fancy receivers to stretch the field more. The last straw was in 2013, right before the season started. Trent Baalke decided to start moving away from the philosophy that Harbaugh was putting in place and made a trade with the Baltimore Ravens for Anquan Boldin so he can open the offense up more. Jim Harbaugh wasn't too happy about that, and they mutually parted ways. Harbaugh took the show on the road. He coached Stanford. He coached Michigan with the same philosophy. Win in the trenches, be able to effectively run the football, and stop the run. And that philosophy has worked for him. He didn't have any receivers that jump off the charts for you. You go look at the roster, you can't name any of the receivers that Michigan had because they just pounded people. They pounded the rock. They ran the ball. They won in the trenches on the offensive side and the defensive side. They were able to stop the run and run the ball. And that's his philosophy, and that's how they won. So I get why people are kind of nervous because we've seen what Justin Herbert could do when he had weapons. And we don't know what it's going to look like. We don't know what that looks like yet. That's the big mystery. How are you going to incorporate this talented quarterback? Because Harbaugh has a philosophy that wins, but he's never had a quarterback that's as talented as Justin Herbert. So everyone is nervous about the unknown. The big mystery is, how are you going to take this quarterback that looked like he's a generational quarterback, that looked like if he can stay healthy throughout his career, he have the potential and the skill set to go down as one of the best quarterbacks ever? How do you take that and fuse it together with a power running game and make it work without taking the big playability from Justin Herbert? How do you do that? Justin Herbert is not an Alex Smith. So how do you do that? And I think that's the big issue. That's the big mystery. I'm still believing in Harbaugh. I'm still going to believe in Ortiz, but it's going to be quite a day, 23 days from now, to see what they do. If they remain at the 5th spot, who do you take? If Marvin Harrison Jr. is there, do you take him? If Malik Neighbors is there, do you take him? If Roma Dunce is there, do you take him? Or do you trade back to get more picks to fill a lot of holes that you have on this team? That have a lot of Charger fans very nervous, including myself. Because guess what? You don't think I would like to have Marvin Harrison Jr. on the receiving end of Justin Herbert's passes? You don't think I would like to have a Malik Neighbors on the receiving end of Justin Herbert's passes? You don't think I would like to see or have a Roma Dunce on the receiving end of Justin Herbert's passes? So, yes, you got to be able to run the ball. And I believe in that philosophy, and I believe in Harbaugh. I believe they know what it takes and put the right pieces in place. But what about those games where you face some adversity running the ball and the game is on the line? Who do you trust? Joshua Palmer? Quentin Johnston? Who do you trust? That's the $1 million question. What are they going to do? And the closer we get to the draft, the more uncomfortable Charger fans are going to be, because I read all the comments. I go on and read a lot of the comments on the other sport pages, and Charger fans are very nervous about giving up that 5th spot. They really want a Marvin Harrison Jr. or Malik Neighbors or a Roma Dunce. They really do. Realistically, Marvin Harrison, I think, will be gone. I'm going to be realistic about it. I don't think Marvin Harrison going to be there with the 5th pick. If he is there, got a big decision to make. But realistically, I think Malik Neighbors and Roma Dunce are possible pickups for Justin Herbert with the 5th spot. And that's what got everybody so nervous. The unknown, the big mystery. Do we keep it or do we trade back? Do you pass up on a difference maker at the wide receiver spot, or do you trade back for a tackle? That's got a lot of people nervous, including myself. But I'm going to tell you, if they do decide to trade back, I could tell you Charger fans that you may not want to hear it. And trust me, I get it. I want Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison Jr. or Roma Dunce. But this draft is so deep with wide receivers. Xavier Worthy is really good, and he ran the fastest 40 at the combine from Texas. Brian Thomas Jr. from LSU, to me, is going to be a stud. Troy Franklin from Oregon also is really good. Adonai Mitchell from Texas also. So I'm saying, according to the way Harbaugh builds teams, those guys could be just as important in his system, in Harbaugh's system, where we can have success if we trade back and don't get a Marvin Harrison Jr. or a Roma Dunce or Malik Neighbors. Decisions. But Charger fans, what do you think? I really just say, to answer my question, just trust in Harbaugh and Ortiz, because they've won at the highest levels. They know how to build cultures. They know how to build a team that's successful. They all come from winning organizations. Ortiz was taught by two of the best in Eric DaCosta and Ozzie Newsome. Harbaugh record can't be denied. We know what he could do. So we're just going to have to trust that. But am I a little nervous about the draft, about what we're going to do and what it's going to look like when the final pieces get put together? Because of Justin Herbert being so damn good, what is it going to look like? We just have to wait and see. Well, that wraps it up for this segment of Chargers Talk 4630. I thank you so much for joining us. If you want to help this community grow, how about subscribing to us? If you know a Charger fan that haven't heard of Chargers Talk 4630, send them the link. Tell them the content is good. And also tell them to make sure they subscribe. This way they can get footage that we send out, they can get a notification on when we go live or when we release any kind of content. And Charger fans, let me end by saying this. I read all your comments. Majority of all of them have been positive. I thank you so much for that. I thank you for your engagement. I try to interact with all of you guys. I try to answer every question. You guys, all the kind words and the compliments and the push that you've given me to keep doing it, don't think it's going unappreciated. And I appreciate you guys so much. I really, really do. I think this podcast is taking off slowly. It's taking off, and it's because of you. It's because of your engagement. It's because of your involvement in asking questions and giving comments. And the biggest thing, man, is the respect thing. You guys respect me. I don't disrespect anyone. I don't like going after anyone aggressive and cursing people. I don't like that. That's not me. That's not my DNA. I do not like to do that. And you guys been very respectful to me, even if you disagreed with me. And I can't begin to tell you how much I thank you for that. So that's the end of this segment. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Until then, be kind, be good, and God bless.